Welcome back to the Carbon Box Media YouTube channel. Today we're discussing an important topic. We'll be talking about why your best ad is getting all your ad spend, what that means, what you should do, if you should do anything. But yeah, this is an exciting topic. We're back here with Chandan. Chandan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Brandon. How have you been?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. You know what? And I get to start my day learning with you, brother. So this is good stuff.
Awesome, awesome. And yeah, so I just want to say one thing before we kick it off. Now, this is a topic we've picked up in the middle of like an ultimate meta chaos because we are in currently in April, and April has been dreadful for a lot of advertisers out there. March was even more horrible. And almost like, and this is like on Reddit, I was seeing that there were almost 3 outages in just a span of about 1.5 weeks, right? This is what we are in the middle of. Meta is a chaos right now. And that's why this is the topic that we want to talk about, Brandon, today, so that all the advertisers that are going to be watching this video, they understand how to navigate these tough waters, right? And now coming to the topic itself, a lot of our advertisers would have noticed that when they launch an ad set, regardless of how many creatives they give, the meta usually just starts to concentrate down to about 2 to 3 creatives at best. And as you keep, the longer you keep these ads on, what ends up happening is that there's only like one or two creatives that keep spending, right? It's almost like Meta is like thinning the herd, and all the other creatives become like irrelevant as you go by the time, right? And this is not a problem. A lot of advertisers think that this could be a problem, and we just audited an account last week, and the agency that was managing the ad account, I saw this happening where they were launching like 7 to 8 ads inside one ad set, and Meta was focusing on 2 or 3, and they would take the remaining 7 creatives, or like 5 to 6 creatives, and they would take it out into a different ad set and force spend on those creatives, right? Now, the problem with this tactic is that it doesn't work, right? The reason why Meta is only focusing on those 2 to 3 creatives is because Meta algorithm understands that only those 2 to 3 creatives might be relevant for your audience, right? And that's why it's pushing that content the most. All the other ads, you could be profitable, no doubt, at a lower ad spend. But Meta, as time goes on, starts to focus on the ones that can scale, that can spend more, that can go beyond $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. And we've seen this in our client accounts where there is a particular creative that spent almost $6,000, and all the companion creatives that we launched that ad with barely spent like $800 to $1,000, and they toppled off. Now, we didn't try to forcefully revive them or force spend on them, only because we understand that after the Andromeda update, Meta handles all of that, spending utilization, right? We don't need to force spend anything. We don't need to test the same creative again and again because you're not going to get a different result, right? So that's the most important thing that advertisers need to be aware of. If you have a lot of creatives, let's say if you were someone launching 10 to 15 creatives inside one ad set, the best solution to that would be split them up, right? Just 5 to 6 creatives inside one ad set, so you get the satisfaction of knowing whether or not more creatives can be spent on, can be profitable, can be scaled, right? Now there's one other side of the coin. What if you launch 6 to 7 ads and none of them work? Like the top 3 ads that Meta spent money on, they were not profitable, right? And then you waited for a week, but you have nothing. Meta has not shifted any spend, right? This is a tricky position. So in this kind of situation, you can start by turning off the creative that spent the most, right? You can start turning off 2 to 3 creatives. Let's say you had total 6, and you've turned off the top 2 creatives, the top 2 spenders, and the remaining 4 are now spending but are not showing any signs of improvement, that entire ad set, believe me, you can turn off that entire ad set. You
Hmm.
don't have to wait until the last creative gets the fullest amount of ad spends, right?
Got it.
Meta
Hmm.
chose those 2 3 creatives which were in that ad set because it thinks that had those creatives or that messaging has the most amount of probability, and it didn't consider the other ads because simply it doesn't think that it can be scalable, right?
Hmm.
So after you say get rid of 50% of the creatives in that ad set, I would suggest turn off the ad set. Try a different messaging, try a different angle, and then restart it again.
Okay. Wow. A lot of information. I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
So, if I'm an advertiser, right, and I take
Yeah.
the advice of I have 5 or 6 creatives per ad set. Let's say I have four different ad sets, 5, 6 creatives.
Mm-hmm.
If I have winners from each of those, let's say I have 2 winners, one I have 1 winners, one I have 0 winners, the other I have one
Right.
winner, whatever. Do I
Yeah.
harvest? Do I harvest the winners and put them into its own ad set to let the winners compete? What do I do?
That's a very interesting question and a great question too. Now, what we do with the winners that come out of these campaigns or these ad sets, yes, we do take them to a separate campaign, which is a scale campaign, and
Hmm.
then we put them inside a cost cap, and then we just let it spend, right? But at the same time, we don't wait to just harvest one winner. We wait until we can harvest at least 3 to 4 winners, and then we go ahead and then spend insane amount of money on a scale campaign. If you just take that one campaign and stress test it with a scale campaign, then it could die down. Like, you're gonna burn
Hmm.
a lot of money in that moment that you've tried to scale it, right?
Hmm.
So best time to take those winners is when you have at least 3 to 4 of them, and then you can take them inside a scale campaign. But until then, you don't have to just sit and wait around to spend more money on your ad account. What you
Hmm.
can do is, let's say you've just about crossed 20 to 30 purchases or $1,000 ad spend on that one creative, right?
Hmm.
Start breaking down that creative, understand why it's working. If it's a video, understand every 3 seconds of the video. If it's an image, take a hard look at all the elements that are there in the creative, break them down, understand why they're working, and then create variations.
Hmm.
Just 20% variations and launch them as testing. And I guarantee you that those variations will have the highest probability of working, and they will 100% not let you down.
Wow. Okay. If I had to boil this down really quickly, the strategy is this. You isolate creatives, maybe 5, 6 different ad sets, test, find winners.
Yeah?
While you're waiting for those to spend, you're analyzing those and developing new creatives. And as those winners mature and we find that they are truly winners, we harvest them and we put them into a scale campaign. And that's where we can really
Exactly.
put our foot on the gas. And you just rinse and
Yeah.
repeat and you just go, go, go.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
That's awesome, man. I love the way you're putting this because I feel like a lot of times this stuff can feel really intimidating. And even when you're doing the right things, it's like, is this right? So it's very helpful to have
Yeah.
it broken down
Yeah.
this way, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you want to show examples or, anything that's helpful to just show like a real world example? Maybe that actually might be
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So this is an ad account where we sell a couple of jewelries, and then it's sort of jewelry which you can buy to celebrate certain milestones of your life, right? Now, in this ad set that you're looking at, this is one of the ad sets that we launched, and we launched it with almost like 10 creatives. You can see, and 9 creatives, and you see that we only turned off one creative, which was spending a bit and then wasn't getting us the kind of results that we want. And you'll notice something rather peculiar. And as I was mentioning, there is one creative and one creative only that has gotten $823 off the $1323 that I was spent in the last 7 days only, right? Now, this is not an accident. This is Meta telling you that this is the creative that you can trust the most and scale it as well. Now, if everyone, all the advertisers watching this video must be thinking, hey, what about that creative that's giving you 4.16? Won't you be more profitable if you just turned off this ad and let this spend? Not really. If Meta did not give it as much spend as this creative, then probably this creative cannot take the stress of high budget. There are sometimes creatives that give you really good results at a lower ad spend, and then there are creatives that can be sustainable at high ad spend with very consistent results. And Meta thinks that this is the creative that can do that, and hence it's going on, right? We're not going to turn it off, we're not going to disturb it. It's just going to keep running, and by the time it hits 50 to 60 purchases, we're going to take it outside, pair it with a couple of other winners, and then scale it, right? Now that's example number one. Now on this ad account, when we launched these ads, right, we were seeing an early sign with this creative. Like, this creative was the first one to give us 5 to 6 purchases, and it had really great ROAS, right? And guys, I want you to understand this: 5 to 6 results is nothing. But we thought that, okay, maybe this is not, by coincidence. We're getting 5 to 6 creatives. Meta is spending the most, in the first week on that creative. It must have some weight to it. Okay, so when you look at this creative, right, you will start to understand that when your audience is looking at this creative, they will see, the first thing they will see is the image, right? And there are multiple products that are kept in that image. Then the next thing they will notice is that the offer, 30% off until we are sold out, and then there's a bunch of text at the bottom. Now these are the three elements present in this static. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two types of variations. I can change the visual, the products on this static, and keep the text same, right? That's one of my 20% variation. The second that I can do is I can change some of the text while keeping this bit as like exactly the same. So I'm just changing this bottom text, right? This could be another set of 20% variation that I'm creating. And we did exactly what I just told you guys. And then we're on 15th of April right now. And this, you can see, we launched these variations on the 8th of April. And let me show you the result of just a tiny, simple variation testing. We've already gotten 27 purchases at 3.64 in this ad set. And the topmost creative is at 6.38. And what did I do to find out the creative? All I did is made a 20% variation. Now let's look at what that variation really did look like for us, right? Now, as I open this, so there you go. So we've taken the exact same offer, exact same text that was at the top, right? We're not changing the text at all. What did we change? 20%. We changed the product visual and we changed the placement of the text, right? We are saying 30% off, big, bold, up there on the creative. And then down, we're saying until we are sold out. Exactly the same text as the previous creative that you guys were seeing, and here is the 20% variation that we created. How much time it took? 48 hours. That's all. And the
Wow.
results? Marvelous.
Yeah,
Right?
that's incredible, man. That's really cool. I love the approach, man. This is incredible.
Do this on like multiple accounts. We do this like incredibly, stupidly simple tactic. We find one creative that works, and then we just like split it into multiple pieces.
It's great, man. Okay, this is amazing. Anything else you want to share with the audience before we wrap up here?
All I want to say is there's going to be a lot of glitches, a lot of, downward performances on Meta. And what I would suggest, at least for the month of April, if you're losing money on your ad accounts, then try to reduce by 30 to 40% of your budgets and just stay there for some time until you have a full week of stable performance. Just stay there. Do not be in a rush to scale or try to find your next winner, because if you're having continuous downward performance, scaling is the exact recipe to burn a lot of money for yourself or for your clients. So just reduce your ad spend and stay there as stable as possible.
Awesome, man. Okay, well, Chandan, thank you so much for doing this and being a part of this video. To the audience, thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this, be sure to subscribe, like it. It's super helpful for the algorithm. And if you're somebody who is, maybe you have a brand and you are just struggling to have quality performance in your ad account, you can book a call with us below, and we'll be happy to, dive into your account. We always perform an audit on anyone that works with us. So happy to do that and just see if we could be a good fit to help you. But on that note, Chandan, anything else before we sign off here?
Nothing else from my side. I love to see you guys all next week.
All righty, take care, guys.